The great meeting hall of Nexus Prime stretched far into the darkness above. 12 massive chairs formed a circle around the center floor, each one built for a different type of alien being. Some chairs glowed with soft blue light for the energy creatures. Others had special atmosphere bubbles for species that breathed different gases. The biggest chair was made of living crystal that hummed quietly. Ambassador Kang Do-yun stood in the center of the circle. He was a tall man with graying hair and kind eyes. His simple black suit looked very plain next to all the strange alien technology around him. Behind him stood Park Ji-woo, a woman with short, dark hair who carried a small device in her hands. She was Earth's best scientist, but she looked nervous. The council speaker was a creature called Vestan. It looked like a tree made of silver metal with hundreds of thin branches that moved like arms. When it spoke, its voice sounded like wind chimes in a storm. "We meet today to decide if the humans from Sol 3 can join our council," Vestan announced. The metal branches clinked together as it moved. "They have asked to become members of our great alliance." A sound like laughter came from around the circle. The crystal being made a noise like breaking glass. The energy creatures flickered brighter. Even the slug-like Marodi wiggled in what might have been amusement. "Let us see what these humans have brought us," said Councillor Jektar, whose 4 eyes blinked one at a time. "Show us why we should care about your little world." Kang Do-hyun bowed politely. "Thank you for this chance to speak. We know we are young compared to your great civilizations, but we believe humans can help make the galaxy better." More sounds of amusement echoed through the hall. Councillor Yathara, who looked like a floating jellyfish made of light, pulsed with bright colors. "Help us? You barely learned to leave your own planet. We were flying between stars when your species was still hitting rocks together." Park Ji-woo stepped forward and activated her device. Holographic images appeared in the air above them. "These are our achievements," she said, trying to keep her voice steady. "We have built space stations around our planet. We have walked on our moon. We have sent probes to other worlds in our system." The images showed rockets launching from Earth, astronauts floating in space, and robots rolling across the surface of Mars. To the humans, these were great victories. To the Council, they looked like children's toys. "How adorable," hummed the crystal being, whose name was too hard for human tongues to say. "They learned to throw rocks into space." "What is your fastest ship?" asked Councillor Drex, a creature that looked like a walking mountain covered in moss. "Our newest ships can reach 1/10 the speed of light," Park Ji-woo answered proudly. The entire council erupted in what could only be called laughter. The energy beings flashed like lightning. The crystal creature rang like a bell. The tree-like Vexthari's branches rattled so hard they sounded like a machine gun. 1/10 light speed, wheezed Councillor Mork through his breathing apparatus. "My personal transport goes 50 times faster than that." "What about your weapons?" asked another. "Councillor, surely you have something impressive to defend yourselves." Kang Do-hyun looked uncomfortable. "We have nuclear weapons. They can destroy entire cities." "Nuclear?" The slug-like Marodi oozed across his chair in what might have been shock. "You still use nuclear fusion? We stopped using that primitive technology 1,000 years ago." "And your computers?" pressed Councillor Yathara. "What can they do?" "Our best computers can perform millions of calculations per second," Park Ji-woo said, but her voice was getting quieter. The laughter grew louder. "Millions!" cried Jektar. "My personal assistant can perform billions of calculations in less time than it takes you to blink." "This is a waste of our time," announced Councillor Hexani, whose metal body gleamed under the lights. "These humans are like babies trying to join a university. They need to grow up first." Vexathari raised its many branches for silence. "Very well, we shall vote. All in favor of accepting the humans into our council?" Not a single alien moved or spoke. All opposed? Every councillor signaled their agreement in their own way. Lights flashed, crystals hummed, and strange voices called. Out, opposed. The motion fails completely, Vexathari declared. Humans, your request is denied. You may try again in, perhaps, 500 years? When you have learned to build real technology. Kang Do-hyun nodded slowly. His face showed no anger or surprise, just sadness. I understand your decision. We are disappointed, but we respect your choice. He started to turn away, then stopped. However, we did prepare one final presentation for you. A simple video message from Earth. Would you allow us to show it? It will only take a few minutes. The counselors looked at each other with their various eyes, sensors, and other organs. Why not? Said Vexathari, its voice full of amusement. We could use some entertainment. Show us your little video. I must warn you, Kang Do-hyun said quietly. It may change how you think about humans. This brought another wave of laughter from the council. Change how we think? Gasped Counselor Mork. Young human, you have shown us chemical rockets and nuclear bombs. What could possibly change our minds about your primitive species? Park Ji-woo walked to a control panel and inserted a small data device. The message is ready, she announced. Very well, said Vexathari. Show us this amazing video that will change our minds about humanity. The lights in the Great Hall dimmed. A large screen descended from the ceiling above the center of the circle. The counselors settled into their chairs, expecting to see more. Footage of crude human technology, or perhaps some emotional speech about human dreams and hopes. The screen flickered to life. Instead of a fancy studio or important government building, the image showed a simple room with plain walls. A man in an ordinary uniform sat at a basic desk. Behind him was a wall covered with monitors showing what looked like star charts. The man looked directly into the camera. His expression was calm and serious, not proud or boastful like the counselors expected. Honored members of the Galactic Council, the man said in a quiet voice. My name is Lee Sang-min. I am the director of Earth's Deep Space Monitoring Division. He paused, as if choosing his words carefully. While you have been deciding whether to accept us into your council, we thought you should know something important. We have been watching you, all of you, for a very long time. The camera slowly pulled back to show that the simple room was actually the center of something much larger. Through windows on either side, vast corridors stretched away into darkness, filled with blinking lights and moving figures. We know this may come as a surprise, Lee Sang-min continued, still speaking in that same calm voice. But humans have been studying galactic civilization for over 200 years. We have learned many interesting things. The counselors stopped laughing. A strange silence fell over the great hall as they stared at the screen, suddenly paying very close attention to every word. The video was just beginning, and already the mood in the room had changed completely. The video continued as Lee Sang-min stood up from his desk. The camera followed him as he walked toward a large window. Through the glass, the counselors could see a massive underground facility that seemed to go on forever. Hundreds of people, in simple uniforms, moved between rows of equipment that definitely did not look primitive. What you are seeing, Lee Sang-min said, is level 1 of our Deep Space Monitoring Center. We have 47 levels below this one. The view changed, to show corridor after corridor filled with technology. Giant screens displayed star maps with thousands of blinking dots. People sat at control stations watching feeds that showed planets, space stations, and ships that the counselors recognized as their own. Allow me to introduce Choi Min-ho, our head of strategic intelligence, Lee Sang-min said. A young man with serious eyes appeared on screen. Behind him was a wall covered with detailed pictures and information about every species in the council. The files were incredibly detailed, showing things that were supposed to be secret. For the past 2 centuries, Choi Min-ho explained, We have been gathering information about galactic civilization. We started with simple radio telescopes, listening to your communications. Then we built better equipment, much better equipment. The screen showed images of devices that looked nothing like the crude human technology the Council had laughed at earlier. These machines were sleek and advanced, using principles that some of the counselors did not even recognize. We learned your languages, Choi Min-ho continued. All of them. We studied your cultures, your histories, your technologies. We mapped your trade routes and cataloged your military capabilities. Counselor Jektar leaned forward in his chair, all four eyes wide with shock. Impossible, he whispered. We would have detected any surveillance. As if responding to his comment, the video changed again. A woman with kind eyes and a gentle smile appeared on screen. I am Kim So-young, Chief of Xenobiology, she said. Counselor Jektar, you are wondering how we watched you without being detected. The answer is simple. We learned from you. The camera showed her walking through laboratories filled with strange equipment. Scientists worked with materials that glowed, pulsed, and seemed to move on their own. Every piece of debris from your ships that drifted into space we collected, Kim So-young explained. Every broken part, every discarded component, every piece of waste your civilizations threw away. We studied it all. She stopped in front of a display case containing what looked like a piece of crystal technology from the crystal being's homeworld. This fragment came from a Velthari mining ship that exploded near the Rigel system 40 years ago. From this, one small piece, we learned how to build crystal matrices that could process information faster than your best computers. The crystal counselor made a sound like breaking glass. The technology Kim So-young was describing was supposed to be impossible for primitive species to understand. Here, she continued, moving to another display, we have a sample of Yathara bio-neural tissue from a medical waste disposal. We used it to create organic computers that think faster than digital ones. Counselor Yathara's light flickered, rapidly in distress. That tissue was from her own species, and it was highly classified medical material. The video shifted again to show another man standing in what appeared to be a communications center. Massive screens showed real-time images of every council member's homeworld. I am Yoon Tae-jin, the man said. I command what we call the Shadow Fleet. Behind him, a wall display showed the location of every council ship in space. But more troubling were the small dots that appeared to be following them. Hundreds of tiny signals that moved in patterns that suggested advanced stealth technology. Those small dots you see are our observation satellites, Yoon Tae-jin explained. We have placed them throughout your territories over the past 50 years. They are very small and very quiet. Your sensors cannot detect them. He touched a control, and the view changed to show live video feeds from inside council facilities. The counselors watched in horror as they saw their own people going about their daily business, completely unaware they were being observed. Counselor Hexani, Yoon Tae-jin said, looking directly at the camera. You are probably checking your security systems right now. You will find nothing wrong. Our satellites use technology based on your own stealth systems, but improved. Counselor Hexani was indeed frantically pressing controls on his chair's armrest. His metal face showed confusion and growing alarm as his security scans found nothing unusual. The video continued to show more impossible things. Underground factories where humans built ships using technology that combined the best features from every council species. Research centers where human scientists worked with materials that could bend light, manipulate gravity, and travel faster than anything the council thought possible. You may be wondering, said a new voice, how we obtained all these materials and technologies. A woman with short dark hair appeared on screen. She stood in front of a map showing shipping routes throughout the galaxy. I am Han Da-som, Director of Applied Physics. The answer to your question is that we have been very good students and very patient collectors. The map behind her began to show dozens of locations where accidents had happened over the years. Ships that had crashed, stations that had been damaged, cargo that had been lost in space. Every time one of your vessels suffered an accident, we were there to study the wreckage. Every time you discarded old technology, we retrieved it. Every time you thought something was worthless, we found a use for it. She smiled, and it was not a cruel smile, but it was very confident. Humans are very good at fixing broken things and making them work better than they did before. We took your discarded technology and made it into something new, something you never imagined possible. The screen split to show side-by-side comparisons. On the left were original alien technologies. On the right were human versions that were clearly superior. Faster computers, stronger materials, more efficient. Power sources. But technology was not enough, Han Da-Som continued. We also needed to understand you as people, as cultures, as civilizations. The video changed again to show what appeared to be alien beings in various locations throughout the galaxy. They were working normal jobs, living normal lives, interacting with other aliens as if they belonged there. "Meet Park Hyun-woo, Commander of Special Operations," said a voice. One of the aliens on screen turned toward the camera and began removing what appeared to be a sophisticated mask. Underneath was a human face. "These are some of our deep cover agents," Park Hyun-woo explained as more disguised humans revealed themselves. "They have been living among your populations for decades, learning your languages, your customs, your secrets." The counselors watched in stunned silence as human after human dropped their alien disguises. They had been everywhere. In government, buildings, military bases, research facilities, even in some council meetings. "The biosynthetic disguises are quite advanced," Park Hyun-woo continued. "They fool all of your sensors and even physical examinations. Our agents have been some of your most trusted advisors, your most reliable workers, your closest friends." Counselor Marodi made a sound like choking. One of his senior advisors had just been revealed as a human agent on the screen. "We want to be very clear," Park Hyun-woo said, his voice becoming more serious. "Our agents have never caused harm or interfered with your societies. They were there only to observe and learn. We have been very careful to respect your sovereignty while studying your civilizations." But the damage was done. The council members were looking at each other with suspicion and fear. If humans could fool them so completely for so long, what else had they missed? The video was far from over, and the revelations kept coming. Each new piece of information made it clearer that everything the council thought they knew about humans was wrong. Very, very wrong. The video continued with a new person appearing on screen. She was an older woman with silver hair and sharp, intelligent eyes. Behind her was a room filled with the most advanced computers the council had ever seen. "I am Lee Yunji, head of predictive modeling," she said in a calm voice. "I want to talk to you about something very important. We knew exactly how this meeting would go." She gestured to the computers behind her. Complex calculations and data streams flowed across dozens of screens. "Our computers have been studying your behavior patterns for decades. We know how each of you thinks, how you make decisions, what makes you angry or happy or afraid. We predicted that you would reject our membership application." Counselor Vexithari's metal branches began to shake slightly. "That is impossible. Our decisions are not predictable." Lee Yunji smiled gently. "Counselor Vexithari, our models predicted you would say exactly those words at exactly this moment. You always question predictions about yourself. It is part of your personality pattern." The metal tree-like being fell silent, clearly disturbed. "We also predicted," Lee Yunji continued, "that Counselor Jektar would check his security systems 3 times during this presentation. That Counselor Yithara would try to contact her homeworld for emergency instructions. That Counselor Hexani would activate his personal defense shields." As she spoke, each council member realized they had done exactly what she described. Some were still doing it. This meeting was never about getting accepted into your council, Li Yunji explained. This meeting was about showing you the truth, about making you understand what humans really are. The view changed to show a massive star map covering an entire wall. Thousands of systems were marked with different colored lights. Red dots showed council territories. Blue dots showed known space lanes. But there were also green dots scattered everywhere. And there were many more green dots than anyone expected. "I am Yang Kite, Director of Resource Management," said a man standing in front of the map. "Those green dots represent human presence in the galaxy." The counselors stared in shock. The green dots were everywhere, in systems they thought were empty, in regions they considered worthless, in places they had never even explored. "For the past 150 years, we have been quietly establishing outposts throughout the galaxy," Jiang Qite explained. "We focused on systems you ignored, dead worlds you thought had no value, asteroid fields you considered too dangerous to mine, empty space you saw no reason to claim." He touched a control, and the map zoomed in on various locations. Each green dot became a detailed view of human facilities, mining operations extracting rare materials, research stations conducting advanced experiments, small cities where humans lived and worked far from any alien civilization. "We were very careful never to claim territory that belonged to anyone else," Jiang Qite said. "We only settled in places you had abandoned or never wanted. But those worthless places turned out to be very valuable indeed." The view showed massive mining operations pulling precious metals from asteroids, energy collectors gathering power from the radiation of dangerous stars, laboratories hidden in the hearts of nebulas where humans conducted research that would have been impossible anywhere else. "You see, humans are very good at finding value in things others consider useless," Jiang Qite continued. "We learned to live in places where other species could not survive. We found resources in locations others thought were empty. We built thriving communities in the spaces between your great civilizations." Counselor Drex, the mountain-like being, rumbled angrily. "You established colonies in our space without permission." "No," Jiang Qite replied politely. "We checked very carefully. Every single human settlement is in unclaimed space according to your own galactic treaties. We followed your laws exactly." He was right, and the counselors knew it. Humans had found loopholes and opportunities that the great alien civilizations had completely missed. The video changed again to show a woman standing in what looked like a war room. Multiple screens showed the positions of every major fleet in the galaxy. But there were other objects on the displays too, strange shapes that moved in patterns the counselors did not recognize. "I am Quan Yon Su, Director of Strategic Defense," the woman said. Her voice was professional but somehow very frightening. "I want to discuss security." She gestured to the displays around her. "You are probably wondering about those unusual objects near your fleets and stations. Those are human ships." The revelation hit the council like a physical blow. There were human vessels everywhere, positioned near every major council asset, and they had never been detected. "Our ships use stealth technology that combines the best features from all of your species," Quan Yansu explained. "Velthari crystal matrices for processing power, Yathara bio-neural networks for decision-making, Hexani adaptive metal hulls that change shape to avoid detection, Marodi chemical systems that mask our energy signatures." Each council member felt a chill as their own technology was mentioned. Humans had not just stolen their secrets. They had combined them in ways that made human ships invisible to everyone. "We have been watching and protecting our interest for many decades," Quan Yansu continued. "But we want to be very clear about something important. We have never attacked anyone. We have never stolen anything that belonged to others. We have never interfered with your internal affairs." She paused, letting that sink in. "However, we have been preparing for various possibilities. including the possibility that some of you might decide humans are a threat that needs to be eliminated. The screens behind her changed to show detailed tactical analyses. Every council fleet, every major installation, every important facility was highlighted with targeting information that was frighteningly accurate. If any council member decides to attack human settlements or Earth itself, Kwon Yeon-soo said, we are prepared to defend ourselves. Our defensive capabilities are significant. She touched a control, and the displays showed simulations of what would happen if human ships attacked various council targets. The results were not good for the council. Human vessels could apparently strike at critical systems with precision that would cripple entire civilizations without causing massive loss of life. We do not want war, Kwon Yeon-soo emphasized. We prefer peace and cooperation, but we will not allow our people to be harmed. A new person appeared on screen. He was a young man with a friendly face, but his eyes were very serious. I am Lim Jun-ho, Earth's strategic analyst, he said. I want to talk about what happens next. Behind him was a simple chart showing 3 different paths forward. Based on our analysis of this situation, there are 3 possible outcomes. Lim Jun-ho explained. The first is that you accept humans as equals and we work together for mutual benefit. The second is that you continue to ignore us and we continue developing on our own. The third is that you see us as a threat and try to stop us. He pointed to each path on the chart. If you choose cooperation, humans will share our technologies and insights with the Council. We have developed many innovations that could benefit all galactic civilizations. We can solve problems that have troubled you for centuries. The chart showed potential benefits. Faster ships, better computers, more efficient energy systems, solutions to resource shortages and environmental problems. If you choose to ignore us, we will respect that decision. We will withdraw our observation systems and return to our own territories. You will not see or hear from us again for several hundred years, by which time the situation may be very different. The implications were clear. If humans continued developing at their current rate, they would be even more advanced when they next made contact. But if you choose to see us as enemies, Lim Jun-ho said, his voice becoming colder, then you should understand what that choice means. The chart showed the third path, and it was not pleasant. Human capabilities were far beyond what the Council had imagined. If forced to fight, humans could cause severe damage to galactic civilization. We hope you will choose wisely, Lim Jun-ho concluded. Humans prefer to be friends, but we are prepared for any possibility. The video was nearing its end, but the most important revelation was yet to come. The video changed one final time to show a woman standing in what appeared to be the bridge of a starship. She was tall and confident, with kind eyes but a very serious expression. Behind her, humans worked at control stations that used technology the Council had never seen before. I am Nam Soo-bin, Earth's Minister of Galactic Affairs, she said. I want to discuss your choices very clearly. The view behind her shifted to show windows looking out into space. Through those windows, the counselors could see Nexus Prime, the very station where they were sitting. The human ship was so close they could see details of the station's surface, yet their sensors had detected nothing. We are currently positioned 100 meters from your meeting chamber, Nam Soo-bin explained calmly. We have been here for the entire duration of your deliberations. Your security systems have not detected us. Panic began to spread through the council chamber. Emergency alarms should have been blaring. Defense systems should have activated, but everything remained quiet and normal. Please do not be alarmed, Nam Soo-bin continued. We mean no harm. We are here simply to demonstrate a point. Human technology is far more advanced than you realized. Counselor Hexani was frantically working his controls, trying to find the human ship on his sensors. Impossible, he shouted. Our scanners cover every centimeter of space around this station. As if hearing his words, Nam Soo-bin smiled gently. Counselor Hexani, your scanners are working perfectly. They are detecting exactly what we want them to detect. Our ship exists in the spaces between your sensor sweeps, moving in patterns that your systems interpret as normal background radiation. She gestured to a display that showed how human ships could avoid detection by predicting and adapting to alien sensor patterns in real time. But let me be very clear about our intentions, Nam Subin said, her voice becoming more serious. We have 3 possible paths forward, and we want you to understand each one completely. Behind her, the bridge windows changed to show different images for each path she described. Path 1 is partnership, she began. If you accept humans as equals in the galactic community, we will share our knowledge freely. Our scientists will work with yours to solve the great challenges facing all civilizations. The windows showed images of human and alien researchers working together, new technologies being developed, problems being solved that had seemed impossible before. We have solutions to energy shortages that have plagued the Morodi homeworld for decades, Nam Subin explained. We have medical advances that could extend Yithara lifespans by thousands of years. We have developed materials that could make Velthari crystal matrices 100 times more efficient. The council members leaned forward despite themselves. These were problems that had troubled their civilizations for generations. We have also developed new forms of space travel that could revolutionize galactic commerce, she continued. Ships that can cross the galaxy in days instead of months. Communication systems that work instantly across any distance. Agricultural techniques that could feed entire star systems using minimal resources. The images showed the potential benefits of human-alien cooperation. It was impressive and tempting. Path 2 is separation, Nam Subin said, and the windows changed to show human ships leaving Council space. If you prefer that we remain separate, we will respect that choice. We will withdraw all of our observation systems and return to human space. The images showed human colonies becoming isolated, developing independently, growing stronger and more advanced without any alien contact. We will seal our borders and focus entirely on our own development, she explained. You will not see or hear from us again for at least 500 years. By that time, of course, human civilization will be very different than it is today. The implications were clear, but not directly threatening. Humans would continue to grow and advance. When they next made contact, the balance of power might be very different. Path 3, Nam Subin said, and her voice became much colder, is conflict. The windows now showed military analyses and strategic projections. The images were clinical and professional, but deeply frightening. If any council member decides that humans represent a threat that must be eliminated, we are prepared for that. Possibility, she said. We have spent 2 centuries studying your capabilities and preparing appropriate responses. A new person appeared on screen beside her. He was a stern-looking man in a military uniform. I am Oh Dong-wook, Strategic Defense Coordinator, he said. I want to be very clear about our defensive capabilities. The displays behind him showed detailed breakdowns of Council military forces. Every ship, every weapon, every defensive system was cataloged with frightening accuracy. Our analysis indicates that human forces could disable approximately 70% of Council military assets within the first 72 hours of any conflict, Oh Dong-wook explained in a matter-of-fact tone. We would focus on strategic targets that would cripple your ability to wage war without causing massive loss of life. The displays showed how human ships could strike at communication networks, supply lines, manufacturing facilities, and command centers with surgical precision. We would target your shipyards first, he continued, to prevent you from building new vessels. Then your communication arrays, to disrupt coordination between your fleets. Finally, your supply bases, to force your ships to return home for fuel and ammunition. Counselor Drex rumbled angrily. You threaten us in our own station. No, Oh Dong-wook replied calmly. We inform you of reality. If you force us to defend ourselves, these are the tactics we would use. We prefer that you know this, so you can make informed decisions. He gestured to additional displays showing human defensive capabilities. Our colonies are protected by automated defense systems that use adaptive camouflage and self-repairing technologies. Our ships can operate independently for years without resupply. Our manufacturing is distributed across hundreds of hidden facilities that would be extremely difficult to locate and destroy. The message was clear. Humans had prepared for war, but they were hoping it would never be necessary. However, Nama Subin said, taking control of the presentation again, we very much prefer Path 1. Cooperation benefits everyone. A new person appeared on screen. She was a middle-aged woman with warm eyes and a gentle smile. I am Seo Jae-hyun, Earth's cultural ambassador, she said. I want to talk about what we could accomplish together. Behind her, the displays showed amazing possibilities. Human creativity combined with alien knowledge. New forms of art that no single species could create alone. Scientific breakthroughs that require different types of minds working together. Humans have always been explorers and inventors, Seo Jae-hyun explained. We see problems and we find solutions. We encounter obstacles and we find ways around them. We meet new people and we learn from them. She gestured to images of humans and aliens working together on various projects. Your civilizations have knowledge and experience that spans thousands of years, she continued. You have solved problems and overcome challenges that humans have never faced. Together, we could accomplish things that none of us could achieve alone. The displays showed potential joint projects, massive engineering works that could reshape entire solar systems, scientific research that could unlock the deepest secrets of the universe, cultural exchanges that could enrich every civilization in the galaxy. But the choice is yours, Seo Jae-hyun said. We offer partnership as equals, not as subjects or masters. We want to work with you, not rule over you or serve under you. Nam Soo-bin returned to the center of the screen for the final message. We will give you time to discuss these options among yourselves, she said. But understand that we need a decision today. The situation has changed too much for us to continue as we were. Behind her, the window showed the human ship beginning to move away from the station. We will return to our position outside your sensor range and wait for your answer, Nam Soo-bin concluded. We hope you will choose wisely. The video ended, leaving the council chamber in complete silence. The screen went dark. The lights in the council chamber slowly returned to normal brightness. But nothing else was normal anymore. The 12 most powerful beings in the galaxy sat in stunned silence, trying to process what they had just witnessed. Kang, Do-hyun, and Park Ji-woo stood quietly in the center of the circle waiting. They had not moved during the entire video presentation. Their faces showed no surprise, no satisfaction, no emotion at all. They had known exactly what the video would contain. Counselor Vexathari was the first to speak, its metal branches trembling slightly. This cannot be real. You are trying to deceive us with false images and fake technology. Kang Do-hyun nodded politely. I understand your disbelief, Counselor. Perhaps you would like to verify some of the information we showed you? Before Vexathari could respond, alarms began sounding throughout the station. Emergency lights flashed red as automated. Systems detected massive energy signatures appearing all around Nexus Prime. What is happening? Demanded Counselor Jektar, all four of his eyes darting between his control panels. Through the great windows of the chamber, ships began to appear. Not slowly, not emerging from hyperspace, but simply materializing as if they had been there, all along but invisible. Dozens of sleek vessels surrounded the station, their hulls reflecting the starlight in patterns that hurt to look at directly. Counselor Hexani, Kang Do-hyun said calmly, please check your sensor records for the past hour. The metal being's fingers flew over his controls. His expression changed from anger to confusion to fear as he reviewed the data. Impossible, he whispered. The sensors show nothing. According to our equipment, those ships do not exist. Yet there they are, Park Ji-woo said quietly. Your eyes can see them, But your technology cannot detect them. This is what we meant when we said human capabilities might surprise you. Counselor Yathara pulsed with rapid, nervous light patterns. How many ships do you have? Enough, Kang Do-hyun replied. But they are not here to threaten you. They are here to demonstrate that everything in our video was true. More alarms sounded as station security tried to respond to the sudden appearance of unknown vessels. But their weapon systems could not lock onto targets that their sensors insisted were not there. Please tell your security forces to stand down, Kang Do-hyun requested politely. We do not wish for anyone to be injured due to misunderstanding. Vex Thari frantically sent orders to the station defense teams. The alarms stopped, but the tension in the chamber remained as thick as atmosphere. You have been planning this for years, accused Counselor Mork through his breathing apparatus. Centuries, Park Ji-woo corrected. We began preparing for first contact before any of you knew we existed. We studied, we learned, we planned for every possible outcome. Counselor Drex rumbled with anger and fear. You manipulated us. You made us look like fools. No, Kang Do-hyun said firmly. You made assumptions about us based on incomplete information. We simply allowed you to maintain those assumptions until it was time to reveal the truth. He gestured toward the windows where the human ships waited silently. We could have revealed our capabilities at any time over the past 2 centuries. We could have demanded recognition or respect. We could have taken resources or territory by force, but we chose patience instead. Why? Asked Counselor Yathara, her light patterns showing genuine confusion. Why hide your strength? Why pretend to be weak? Park Ji-woo smiled for the first time since entering the chamber. Because humans prefer to be underestimated. It gives us advantages that strength alone cannot provide. She activated her device. Again, and new images appeared in the air above them. These showed human history, wars, conflicts, struggles against seemingly impossible odds. Throughout our history, she explained, humans have succeeded by being underestimated. Small groups defeating large armies, weak nations overcoming powerful empires, individuals changing the course of entire civilizations. The images showed David defeating Goliath, tiny Greece holding off the massive Persian Empire, rebels overthrowing kings and emperors. We learned long ago that being seen as weak or primitive can be more valuable than being feared, she continued. When your enemies underestimate you, they make mistakes. They reveal their weaknesses. They give you opportunities that strength alone could never create. Counselor Jektar leaned back in his chair, all 4 eyes wide with realization. You were never trying to join our council as junior members. You were studying us to determine if we were worthy to join your alliance. Not quite, Kang Do-hyun said. We genuinely hope to find equals in the galaxy. Civilizations we could learn from and work with as partners. We still hope that. He looked around the circle at each council member. But we also prepared for the possibility that galactic civilization might be ruled by beings who saw only strength and weakness, dominance and submission. Who could not imagine cooperation between equals? The accusation hung in the air like a challenge. You are asking us to accept you as equals, said Vex Thari slowly. But you have already proven you are superior to us in every way that matters. No, Park Ji-woo said firmly. We have proven we are different from you. Not superior. Different. She gestured to new images showing alien achievements that humans had never matched. The Velthari understanding of crystal matrix technology is still beyond our complete comprehension. Yathara bio-neural networks process information in ways human brains cannot duplicate. Marodi chemical engineering creates substances we could never invent on our own. The council members began to pay closer attention. These were genuine compliments, not empty flattery. Each of your civilizations has developed capabilities that humans lack, she continued. We have learned much from studying you, but we have not mastered everything. There is still much we could learn from direct cooperation." "And what could we learn from you?" asked Counselor Hexani, his metal voice skeptical. Kang Do-hyun smiled. "How to see value in things others consider worthless. How to find solutions that no one else has tried. How to turn disadvantages into advantages. How to never give up, no matter how impossible the situation seems." He gestured toward the human ships surrounding the station. "Most importantly, how to prepare for futures that others cannot imagine. Humans are very good at asking, 'What if?' and then preparing for those possibilities." A new voice spoke from the chamber's communication system. It was Nam Subin from the human ship. "Honored counselors, we are prepared to demonstrate our commitment to peaceful cooperation. Our ships will withdraw to a safe distance while you deliberate, but we need your decision today." The council members looked at each other with expressions ranging from fear to admiration to uncertainty. "What if we say no?" asked Counselor Yathara. "What if we decide humans are too dangerous to accept? Then we will respect that decision," Kang Do-hyun replied. "We will withdraw from council space and return to our own territories. You will not see us again for several centuries." "And then," pressed Vexathari, "then we will have learned something important about galactic civilization," Park Ji-woo said sadly. "We will know that it is ruled by fear rather than wisdom, and we will plan accordingly." The implications were clear, but not directly threatening. Humans would continue to develop, and the next time they made contact, the situation would be very different. However, Kang Do-hyun added, "If you accept us as partners, we are prepared to begin sharing our knowledge immediately. We have solutions to problems that have troubled your civilizations for generations." He activated a small device, and holographic displays showed technological advances that made the council members gasp with surprise and hope. Medical techniques that could extend life by thousands of years, energy systems that could power entire civilizations using minimal resources, transportation methods that could revolutionize galactic commerce. The benefits of cooperation were enormous and obvious. "The choice is yours," Kang Do-hyun concluded. "We offer partnership between equals. Nothing more, nothing less." Vexathari called for a brief recess to allow the council members to discuss this unprecedented situation. But as they huddled together in small groups, it became clear that their choice had already been made. The demonstration had been too thorough, too overwhelming. Humans had proven beyond any doubt that they were not the primitive species the council had assumed. They were something far more dangerous and far more valuable. When the council reconvened, Vexathari spoke for all of them. The Council of 12 votes unanimously to accept humanity as full members of our alliance. Ambassador Kang Do-hyun, welcome to galactic civilization. As the formal documents were signed and the ceremonies began, Counselor Yathara approached Park Ji-woo privately. "Was any of it real?" she asked quietly. "Your primitive ships, your simple technology, your humble request for membership?" Park Ji-woo considered the question carefully. "The ships were real, but they were not our best. The technology was real, but it was not our most advanced. The request was genuine, but we were not as humble as we appeared." She smiled. Humans have learned that sometimes the best way to join a group is to let them think they are doing you a favor by accepting you. It makes the transition much smoother for everyone involved.